Welcome everyone, I'm Dale and this is CinemaHistoria. A beautiful yacht owner, socialites stranded on an island, and a singing sailor. This week we're going back to 1934 for a Screwball musical comedy film called We're Not Dressing. Starring Bing Crosby, Carole Lombard, George Burns, Gracie Allen, Ethel Merman, and Ray Milland. And this is directed by Norman Taurog. So where does our story begin this week? Well, our story begins on a yacht called the Doris, owned by beautiful Doris Worthington, played by Carole Lombard. Spoiled socialite Doris is sailing the Pacific with her friend Edith, played by Ethel Merman, and her uncle Hubert, while being courted by Prince Michael, played by Ray Milland, and Prince Alexander. A group of sailors are also traveling on the yacht, one being Stephen Jones, played by Bing Crosby, which Doris asked to take care of her pet bear named Droopy. She is bored, however, and finds entertainment in verbal sparring with Stephen, including slapping him, which he retaliates by kissing her, resulting in getting fired. In a drunken accident of losing the ship's map and breaking the compass, Uncle Hubert runs the yacht onto a reef in the fog. Stephen rescues the unconscious Doris as the others flee the capsized ship, and everyone makes it to a tropical island, although the princes claim credit for Doris's rescue. Unfortunately, the only person with any survival skills is Stephen, and the socialites are quick to demand that he gather food and build shelter. Stephen attempts to divide up the work, but the haughty passengers snub his leadership, so he fends for himself. The smells from Stephen's dinner of mussels and coconut soon entice the hungry passengers to gather their own food, all except Doris, who remains indignant and infuriated. When the wind wisps away Doris's lingerie in a search, Doris discovers there are other people on the island. Falling prey to a lion trap in the jungle, she is rescued by zany Gracie, played by Gracie Allen, and scientific husband George, played by George Burns, who live on the other side of the not-so-deserted island. Grateful to the husband and wife research team, Doris refuses their offer to stay in favor of getting even with Stephen. What's up with that? So, does Doris arrange some tools and clothes to float past Stephen while fishing? Do two rescue boats arrive just when the couple admit their love one evening, only to feel mismatched? Or does Stephen find out he was the butt of a joke and decide to paddle down a different path? Released April 26, 1934, the story is based on the 1902 comic stage play The Admirable Crichton by Scottish novelist and playwright J.M. Barrie, best remembered as the creator of Peter Pan. We're Not Dressing stars 3 Oscar winners, Bing Crosby, George Burns, and Ray Milland, and 1 Oscar nominee, Carole Lombard. User reviews make such claims as The Gilligan's Island of Movies, a fabulous trio being Carole and Droopy, enjoyable screwball comedy musical, and rough seas, but it comes ashore just fine, and that it does. I did another Carole Lombard film on my channel called Love Before Breakfast from 1936. Please click the link below. I think you will enjoy both. And we're going to make it a little easier on you this week on our trivia question. Did some things get recorded from this film that later hit the charts? Did some things get recorded from this film that later hit the charts? So, a little more history and the answer to our trivia question coming up next. The wacky husband and wife research team in our film was played by the comedy team of Burns and Allen, making them the subject of this week's history. So, Burns and Allen were an American comedy duo consisting of George Burns and wife Gracie Allen. They worked together as a successful comedy team that entertained vaudeville, film, radio, and television audiences for over 40 years. The duo met in 1922 and first performed together at the Hill Street Theater in Newark, New Jersey, continued in small-town vaudeville theaters. They married in Cleveland on January 7, 1926, and moved up a notch when they signed with the chain of vaudeville and motion picture theaters, the Keith Albee Orpheum, in 1927. Burns wrote most of the material and played the straight man, while Allen played the silly, addle-headed woman. The Burns and Allen team was an overnight sensation, but not headliners, usually billed fourth in an 8-act show. However, their career changed direction when they made their first film. In the early days of talking pictures, the studios eagerly hired actors who knew how to deliver dialogue and songs, so it went with their film debut. They were the last-minute replacements for another act in a Vitaphone variety short called Lamb Chops in 1929, running through their patter and song routine. Burns and Allen joined the Paramount Pictures roster in 1930 and made a string of one-reel comedies through 1933. In 1932, Paramount produced an all-star musical comedy, The Big Broadcast, featuring the nation's hottest radio personalities. Burns and Allen were recruited. They made such an impression that they continued to make guest appearances in Paramount features through 1937. Their last film as a team, in Honolulu, in 1939, an MGM musical. During this time, they debuted a 30-minute radio show in September of 1934 as The Adventures of Gracie, whose title changed to The Burns and Allen Show in 1936. And the radio series ran until May of 1950. Burns and Allen re-emerged on television with a popular situation comedy, which aired 291 episodes from 1950 to 1958. Burns and Allen's radio show was inducted into the National Radio Hall of Fame in 1994. Their TV series received a total of 11 Primetime Emmy Award nominations, and with TV Guide ranked number 56 on its 1997 list of the 100 greatest episodes of all time. And they were inducted into the Television Hall of Fame in 1988. Just amazing. And the answer to our trivia question this week: did some things get recorded from this film that later hit the charts? Yes. There were 16 songs sang or played by Bing Crosby, Ethel Merman, Leon Errol, and Gracie Allen in our film. Bing Crosby recorded some of the songs for Brunswick Records. Brunswick Records was an American record label based in Iowa from 1916 to 1929. A number of interesting recordings were made by actors during this period, featuring songs from musical films. Brunswick Records sold to Warner Brothers April 30th, 1930, and signed Bing Crosby, who was to become their biggest recording star. Reaching the pop charts of the day, peaking both at number 2, were Love Thy Neighbor and Goodnight Lovely Little Lady, and peaking at number 11 was Once in a Blue Moon. Just amazing. I'd like to give a big thank you to my viewers and subscribers. Thanks for helping out my channel. And for everyone watching, thanks for watching, and we'll see you soon.